Okay, hello everyone. Sorry about the slight delay. Been a few technical issues here, but I think we're just about sorted now. Welcome to this evening's program webinar, all about why image consultancy is the growth area in personal development in India today. I'm going to talk a little bit, first of all, about just what about image consultancy, what it's all about, why it's important, why image management is important, and then go on further to talk a little bit about a program that I'm bringing out to India in a few weeks' time. So without further ado, let's move on. Okay, just in case any of you have never been on a presentation like this before, you will be muted throughout the presentation, but if you have a question, please type it into the box at the top right hand side, and I will be stopping later on to answer any questions that you may have. So if anything kind of comes to you as we're going through the whole process, then please do pop in a question into the chat box, and so that I can answer your question as we're going along. Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Gail Morgan, and I've been lucky enough to be an image consultant and trainer for the last 23 years. How scary is that? I've done a variety of different things over this time, and have many of these things are listed here. So I've been past president of the Federation of Image Professionals International, which is based here in the UK. I was on the board of the Federation for 5 years, and for 2 of those years I was president. I've also been an assessor for the City and Guilds Masters Award in Image Consultancy, which was a fantastic honour and great fun actually, but also very rewarding to be able to be there helping people to achieve that great award. Also during this time I've developed a number of different training programs, and these programs I've delivered face-to-face in the traditional sort of format, but I've also developed my training onto DVDs and online as well. My training has been accredited by a third party to, as I say, to the standards of the City and Guilds Award in Image Consultancy. And because of my assessor background, any trainees I work with obviously can be assured of the highest quality training. And because I still work with clients, taking them shopping, going in their wardrobes, advising them, doing corporate training programs, I obviously keep the training content both up to date, relevant and current. I've been lucky enough to work with thousands of individuals from all cultures and backgrounds, both privately and corporately. And this corporate training experience, I've worked with a number of large blue chip organisations as well as small enterprises, but I'm teaching people, from graduates to senior executives, all about the importance of image in raising their profile at work, which I'm going to touch on a little bit today so that you can learn those basics as well. So, before we get started, what is image and why is it important? I think it's great for you to kind of think back and to think, well, what is it about image, and why do we need to study it? Why do people consider it vital, certainly in this day and age, to have a great understanding of this in your work environment? So we take it back to the basics and look at the sort of dictionary definition. Image can be described as the impression that a person or organisation gives to the public or section of the public. It could also be described as a visual communication that determines how others see you. And it is important because it's a non-verbal communication. So before we even utter a word, people have started making assumptions and decisions about us based purely on how we look. And the reason for this is that humans believe what they see. And if you think about it, when you meet someone for the first time, what happens? We sort of metaphorically look them up and down. We think about, we're taking in all sorts of visual information and making kind of assumptions on possibly, you know, their credibility, their status, their job, what level of job that they're at, whether, you know, sometimes whether they're trustworthy or not, or whether we would want to work with them in the future. And very much of this is based on how someone looks. Now, this has been around for a long time, and Albert Morabian did a study way back in the 70s, but it is still used and talked about today. And you may well have seen some of these percentages thrown, bandied around before, but I think it's a good thing to kind of realise that we do make all sorts of judgments about people when we first meet them. And Albert Morabian found that you know, only 7% of our first impression is made of what we actually say. 38% is our voice and tone, so the way that we speak, our accents, and how understandable a voice, our tone, our timbre to our voice. And then 55% is made up of appearance. This could be body language, it could be facial expressions, and you know, it's all those elements that make up that first impression when you first meet someone. And I think the really interesting part, which I do go into in a lot more detail when I do my training courses, is looking about how vital, you know, we could take these percentages as separate individual things, but when we put them together, that's when the power really hits home, because our message is not really going to be believable if our appearance, our voice, and what we're saying work together. So, for example, you know, I recently met someone at a networking meeting, and he was saying that he worked with a lot of high net individuals, helping them sort their finances out. And, you know, he seemed to talk a good talk, but when you looked more closely, he had scruffy shoes and holes in his jumper. Now, that just may be an unfortunate mistake on his part, but it actually set up warning signals in my mind that perhaps what he was saying was not completely true. And so it is really worthwhile thinking, you know, what is the message you want to come across, what to put across, and are you projecting that in all that you say, do, and how you appear? And so vital to kind of think a lot along those lines. And this is even more, you know, sort of this then influences our decisions when we meet someone, because we do just have a few seconds, and very often it's based on a gut instinct. It's a subconscious decision and based on our assumptions and biased by our own experiences. So sometimes these experiences can sort of skew our decisions, perhaps in not a normal sort of way. But, you know, we would tend to assume that if somebody has taken the time and care to look after themselves, to present themselves in a positive manner, then they will take time and care over the work that they are going to do. And even if you don't take anything more from today, I think that's really important for you to think about, because those assumptions are just, they're made, and they're not made to be mean or nasty. It's just very often it's back to, you know, the days when we had to fight for our food and we were sort of facing violent animals and dangerous animals. It's a fight or flight syndrome. So is that person someone who's worth talking to or worth doing business with? Perhaps not, because they don't look like they know what they're doing, or that they've taken that time or care. So although it sounds very strange and almost superficial, we do make those decisions. And if you think about in an interview situation, those first few seconds are vital. And studies have been done that actually they had an interviewer and they had a yes/no button underneath the table, so that when an interviewee walked into the room, they pressed the yes or no button immediately to see whether they thought that person would fit into or look like they'd be part of the team. So this potential employee had not actually said a word. They then conducted the interview, and when the interviewee left, the interviewer pressed the button again, and in 90% of situations they didn't change their mind. So that first impression really, really does stick. And again, another thing to think about as part of this is to think about, if you meet someone for the first time and you are introduced to them, how often do we forget their name? Because we're so engrossed in looking at the external part of how they look and what and their body language, etc., etc., we tend to forget their name immediately because our brain is racing ahead with all sorts of other subconscious thoughts, and the last thing that we're going to remember is actually their name. So again, there are a few tricks of how to do that, to remember their names, but we are human, that's what happens. We do sort of have all these things going on through our brain at that time. So when we're talking about image management, this is what, as I do as an image consultant, I would be helping and looking at helping clients to manage their image so that when they go out into the world, they are sort of showing a congruent impression, that their impression that they're giving to people is consistent, that and when they're feeling good about how they look and know that they are presenting this message correctly, then obviously their confidence is going to increase because they're going to feel better about themselves as people notice them for all the right reasons. And this often engenders respect from colleagues and from superiors. So again, does fantastic things for you in work because suddenly you're seen as this consistent, congruent and confident person. I would also talk to a client about appropriate dress depending on what their line of business is, and also we can also look at it from a social aspect as well. So it's not all about business, especially if I'm working one-to-one with a private client. You cover all sorts of areas of their life as well. But if you're working with a corporate client, it could be that they're working on a global stage, so they have to think about what's appropriate for the area that they're going to, what would be appropriate during the day, and what would be appropriate in the evening to wear, so that they are, just as soon as they walk in, people know that they are the CEO of such and such a company, or, they're at the senior management, or they're the PR executive for that particular company. Because as you'll see in a minute, not all people, I wouldn't say that everyone wears exactly the same thing, because it does depend on your role and your expertise. And then actually, what we wear and also body language and etiquette is a huge, amazing way of building rapport. It's a very, very quick way of building rapport with potential clients or potential customers. And then all of these things together really just indicate success. And it's a very succinct shorthand or visual shorthand for denoting success to colleagues and to clients likewise. Okay, so all of this really is about personal branding. And so I do a lot of this working with people and train people in how to do this as well. So understanding how your brand can be portrayed in what you wear. Obviously body language comes into this as well, but if we can think about how we conduct ourselves, but also in what we present ourselves in, so the clothes we wear, the accessories we choose, our grooming, which is also vital, can make a big difference as to how other people perceive us. And so, what I would do with clients, and this is something that you could think about for yourself, is that when you are getting dressed in the morning, when you know what your work day looks like, then, what would you expect, or what would you like people to think about you? How would you like to be perceived by others? And if you could sum that up into 3 words, what would those 3 words be? And then that does help you when you select your outfits, your clothes in the morning, when you're shopping, when you're looking through the wardrobe. It does help you really pinpoint the type of garments that are going to work for you and your lifestyle. So very often when I ask this question, especially in a corporate environment, these are some of the answers and the words that people respond with. So have a think, what would these words actually look like in your situation, in your corporate dress culture? Because again, it's going to be different for different companies as to what would be an acceptable form of dress. And when we're doing the training, then I go into this in a lot more depth as well, so that you have a better understanding of how in a corporate environment you can put this across with exercises and different approaches. So, for example, if we took professional as an attribute you'd like to project, how would that look? Now, for some companies and in some situations, it probably would mean a suit, a formal matched suit, potentially, if you're a man with a shirt and tie, or with a smart blouse. If you're a woman, it could mean that you're wearing heels. Certainly in the Western world, that's what it would mean. But to some extent, if you were working in an architect's practice, for example, or an advertising agency, you probably wouldn't see people in suits. But I would expect, if they were aiming to look professional, I would expect to see excellent grooming, so good hair care, makeup for the women, potentially some tailored garments in there, but it might not necessarily mean a suit. So do think about how you want to project yourself, what that would look like in your situation, and and then do that consistently, so that people then start to believe that you are professional, approachable, knowledgeable, etc. So that without even opening your mouth. And you can do that with the clothes that you choose, with the colours that you choose, the accessories, and obviously, as I say, the grooming that you use as well. So, as I said, why India? Why would is it a good time to be looking at developing image consultancy in India? There are so many statistics out there at the moment at how fabulous and fantastic your growth of sort of the middle classes in India, who would be looking for this sort of investment in themselves. I read somewhere that by 2020, I think that the average age is going to be 29 in India. So there's going to be a lot of competition with people. You're going to have an educated workforce, but there's obviously going to be competition for the best jobs. So you're going to be looking for the advantage, those little advantages that can help you rise above everyone else. And, if you can get that edge, it's going to help you be more successful than the next person. So India is going to be crying out for image consultants to help people understand and know how and they can do this. So I can see, a massive market growth for image consultancy and related sort of skills in the next few years, because we've certainly seen it in the UK and America it's been going for the last 30 years over here, but because of the rapid growth in India, you're going to need it quickly and in great depth. And so, I'm very excited for what the Indian economy is and where it's going. I have worked with a number of Indian consultants already, so I do know from sort of the coalface, if you like, that it is definitely a rising market, and people are asking for this all the time now. So I'm not sure why you came today. Maybe that you just wanted to understand more about image consultancy, understand why, and image is important. Hopefully I've answered some of those questions for you already. It may be that you're looking to increase your income and add more skills to your existing business. Or it may be that you're interested in setting up your own image consultancy business in India or the Indian subcontinent. Or because it's just that you're looking for a more flexible and interesting job role. So I'm excited to tell you about the new and unique training program that I'm bringing to India next month. So we've had a lot of interest in this. It's going to be an 8-day business training program, image business training program. It's aimed at both sort of quite a wide range of people, and it will be suitable for both for all these types of people. So definitely at established soft skills trainers, so that you can add image skills to your portfolio of services. And as I said, I have trained a number of Indian trainers already to do this, and they're seeing, it's very, very useful to be able to add these skills to their existing coaching or, HR roles at the moment. But also it gives you the possibility of starting your own flexible second career as an image consultant or personal stylist. So you could be working one-to-one with a range of clients, either individually or in the corporate market as well, if that's where you want to go. But there is, a massive market, as we said, for the new middle class in India who will be looking to improve how they look and get a really good understanding of how to shop and how to dress and how to make the most of themselves. And so all these people are going to be hungry for information. So if you don't feel that you want to work in the corporate market, you could be looking for a flexible role to kind of work alongside your family. Then don't feel that everything has to be corporate related, because it certainly doesn't. You can certainly earn a very good, lucrative income working one-to-one with high net individuals or with other women in their home. So it could be, then it means you create a flexible, respectable and interesting job for yourself, as I say, that you can fit around your family commitments. And the other people that might be interested in training could be, as I say, you're an HR professional, possibly teachers. I've trained people who are teachers, maybe a fashion student. You want to add more to your knowledge there, because this will give you a more practical and realistic and everyday knowledge that, if you combine it with your fashion experience and knowledge, can be fantastic. If you've got retail experience, then again, this will just tie in beautifully with what you already do. So with all of this information, you can then become a sought-after image consultant and image trainer, helping a variety of different clients out there in the market. So the Image Business Training Program, I'm very excited, as I say, to be launching this. It's a unique program which is aimed at the Indian market, taking the best of the best from my training sessions, my training programs that I run here in the UK, just for you. The course is accredited to the standard of the City and Guilds and FIPI award, as I said, and you would be eligible to join the Federation of Image Professionals following the completion of the program. The 8 days are going to be very intensive, so be prepared, but you will learn loads and have lots of fun. But it's also, it's intensive, but it's also very practical, and you would gain a lot of hands-on experience. You'd learn you'd learn so much and make friends for life. But it's all, as I say, it's about practical and how you can implement that knowledge going forward into a successful business for yourself. And whether you're going to work within the corporate environment or work with those private individuals. So as you can see, we've got a variety of different topics. So we do 2 days on colour analysis, looking at the different colours that would suit your clients, looking at men's and women's image, both sort of from the practical side of sort of working out what shapes of clothes would work for them, as well as the sort of image that they want to project, just like I've been talking about, to the world at large. We have a day on wardrobe management, so you would understand how to create outfits for your clients, understand their social diaries, so that you can work with them to ensure that they get the most out of the clothes that are in their wardrobes. And then there's a whole day on business marketing and planning, so that you can know the best way to find clients and find a niche potentially that you want to work within, and to be successfully market your business. And then we have a day on corporate training, so how to use this information that you've gleaned on the previous 7 days and then use that in a corporate training environment. Or even if you didn't, as I say, if you didn't want to do corporate training, you could use that information if you were going to talk to a group of women potentially who were meeting in a social situation. So, but it would be presentation skills as well, so it really empower you to be able to do a small presentation, whether it was just to a small group or to a larger corporate networking sort of group. Okay, so this is how the program works, and I have to stress that this program is unique to India, and also these special bonuses are only available for the people who join me on the first study and style training program that I run in India. So what you would get, apart from the 8-day face-to-face intensive image business training program, which will be held in Delhi at the end of November, you would get immediate access to the groundbreaking online personal stylist course, which I developed earlier this year, which is called The Wardrobe That Works. And this really will help you to personally organise your own wardrobe, because obviously that's a major part of the whole process, is that you want to be able to walk the walk, talk the talk, and so you need to know how to make your own wardrobe work well for you. And then after the 8-day face-to-face intensive, you would then get ongoing support and encouragement from me and from head office as your business grows. So we'd be doing regular webinars, Q&A sessions and Skype calls, as well as if we get any business leads, we would obviously pass them on to you. Okay, so how much is the program? Let's get to the nitty-gritty. As I said, the program is going to be running in the Maples Hotel in New Delhi from the 22nd to the 29th of November. We've tried to make it as all-inclusive as possible, so it makes it as easy as possible for you so that you can get started and get going as quickly as you can. So the fees include all the equipment, manuals and DVDs that would for your training. So that includes all the equipment, so all the colour equipment and all the sort of a lot of visual aids would be included in that. And also, as a big bonus, it includes accommodation and refreshments, so you don't even have to think about trying to find somewhere to stay. You would be able to stay as part of the deal. So the cost for this is normally 240,000 Rand, but until next Wednesday we've got an early bird price running on this, so it's 200,000 Rand. If you've already done some image training, or you just want to sort of dip your toe in the water, if you like, we are offering single days. So if you just wanted to study colour, for example, and women's style, then you could just stay for those days. And they are normally, each day would be 32,000 Rand, or until next Wednesday, if you buy before next Wednesday, then it would be 28,000. So just to let you know that a similar programme to this in the UK would cost 360,000 Rand, so you can see whatever happens, you are getting a good saving here. But this is because I do want to get launch into India, and I want to make it as accessible to you as possible. So the program is only limited to 10 people, so you really do need to act fast if you want to get started. I do hope to come to India again next year, but I'm not sure when that'll be yet. So, if you do want to get ahead of the crowd, you need to act now and, do that. So there's quite a complicated website link there, but if you can jot that down, then that will help you to, it'll guide you to a bit more information about the program in a lot more detail there. So if you want to jot that down, you can, or if you haven't got it down, then just email me and I can guide you to that web page. But it really is, I'm very excited about it, really interesting to get out there and to meet some of the ladies I've already trained, and to help them and to help you really enjoy the benefits of this wonderful industry. And please, as I say, give me a call or email me if you've got any further questions, having looked at the web page, or if you need any more guidance. So just before we finish, have we got any questions? I'm just going to check in the box and see if anyone's asked me anything. Oh yeah, I can see here. How much could one earn? Well, again, that's a bit difficult to say to be exact, but there's all sorts. Certainly if you go out into the corporate world, there is very good money to be earned. But even, as I say, in the private market, you can be very busy. Certainly, earning enough to sort of help you pay your child's tuition fees and buy that piece of jewellery or that lovely garment that you've been looking for. But I will detail those in more detail on the course, because we'll talk about pricing, and pricing will vary again depending on what part of the country you're in as well. So there will be different levels there, but we can discuss that as part of the course. But I would say that most people would make their money back on the course, after seeing, I would say, 10 clients. So, it's not like you have to be seeing lots and lots of clients to make your money back. What kind of business tools will be provided? So as I say, if you're part of the pilot group, then you will get the access to the Wardrobe That Works online program, which is a fabulous sort of help for you to get you thinking about your clothes. And obviously on the course itself, you'll get all the colour analysis equipment, which will help you to be able to determine the colours that suit a client best. You'll get all your manuals. You'll get all the DVDs as well, which will sort of have got a variety of different training options in there, and also PowerPoint presentations on disc and on little, to put in your computer. I can't think of the word. And you also will go feature onto the website, and as I say, you'll also be able to apply for FIPI membership immediately. And going forward, you'll have access to videos and webinars that I'll be running. And it's only just the beginning, and as I come over there, then we'll be able to do more and more kind of meetings and things as well. And let me just check. So Sarah says, so there won't be any charge extra for the hotel booking. No, that's true. There won't be any extra charge. I want to deliver an intensive training program so that we're going to really focus on the learning and and really understand and get that deep into the learning, so that you don't have to worry about going home and doing stuff at home. You can really focus on the time that you're there. Just so you can focus on that. And then once we've got your details, obviously we can help with getting people to and from the airport and things as well. Hang on, let me just see. Yeah, we're going to, I've just got another question here. I can't quite see who it's from. Hang on, let me see. Would you give style training related to the Indian culture and tradition? Yes. So there will be an element of that as well. So it's not just going to be Western based. There will be bits on sari tying, and also obviously relating to business dress for both men and women, but still taking account of the Indian culture. So yeah, definitely. Let me just see if I can see any other questions. So if you've got anything else, please ask away. Okay, just one more I can see there. And when will you be coming to India again? Not sure. I'd say coming in November and hoping to come back in March, but it may be later. But as I say, if you were interested in coming, seeing me next year, then again, just let me know, and I can keep your name, and we can sort of talk about details going forward. Great. Anything else? Can't see any more, but that's been great. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. And as I say, if you want to find out more, please pop over to the webpage, give me an email or ring if you need to, and I hope to see you in about 3.5 weeks' time. Okay, bye for now.